Let's say you can speak two, almost three languages. You've worked in the golf industry and toys and cargo, but you have found that you are fascinated by the cherry business. Well, that was the situation for Keith Hu. Hi, I'm Dave Price, and this is the American Farmland Owner Podcast. Keith has now been in the cherry business for 20 years. He's the Northwest Cherry Growers Association Director of International Operations. So it means he works to find international buyers for all those big, beautiful cherries that come from America's Northwest. The trade war has limited exports to China, but Keith has found potential in several other countries. We're going to check those out in our conversation, but first, let's find out how Keith found cherries, or maybe cherries found him. All right, Keith, let's start off by how'd you get into the cherry business? It would be fair to say it's a circuitous, unplanned route, right?
Yeah. I graduated from University of Washington with a business finance degree, and
Okay.
I also knew I want to be in the business, and to utilize my dual language skills, Chinese and English, and a little bit of Japanese. And I got off after college. I was started working for a golf course development company, and then I went to work for EVA Airways as a cargo sales. And then I went to work for Hasbro, a subsidiary of Hasbro toy company out of Seattle. I was doing Asia Pacific business development for that particular company, branch of theirs. And I worked there for about 3 or 4 years and decided I'm looking for a new challenge. I left the company and became an entrepreneur for a couple of years. And then at a business function, I bumped into the current president of the Northwest Cherry Growers, and we had a chat. And this is back in 2025, and he was back then the industry was only producing about um, 80,000 tons of cherries.
Okay, sorry, what year? Because I think you said 2025.
2005, sorry, 2005, not
Gotcha,
2005, yeah,
2005. All right,
yeah,
all right, all
2005.
right. Sorry to interrupt you.
2005. 2005. So when I first spoke to the president of the company, and he said they're looking ahead because there are lots of new cherry plants being planted over in Eastern Washington, Oregon, and they know they need new markets. They need foreign
Hmm.
markets to sell them to. So uh, I always love cherry. Actually, I love eating fruits, and cherries is one product I really like because it's seasonal. You don't see it year round, so
Yeah.
you only see it for 11, 12 weeks out of the year. So there's that uniqueness. There's that I call it sexiness.
Yeah, it's like an extended Christmas though. Like you got to get it. It's only going
Yeah,
to come during that season, right?
yeah, exactly. So it's like a must-have during the summer months. So it's like I was like, all right. I told my wife, hey, there's this opportunity. I'm going to go work uh, in the agriculture industry. And so she's like, what? No. Yeah, let's give it a try because they want to open the Asia Pacific business, which that's my specialty, and I'll go help them. So yeah, and I kind of I stumbled into this industry, and now I'm on my 20th years. I love it. It's I love the product. I love the people that I work with, especially the from the packing industry, the farmers, especially the passion that they have for the product they produce is so different than and other typical American corporations that I have experience with. So yeah.
Will you talk a little bit about theme that makes sense that you're kind of where you are when you start putting these pieces together? At least to me, hearing your story, some of this makes sense. But will you talk a little bit about your friends in Washington and a lot of them who are not in agriculture? Maybe they're in tech, whatever they're in, but the difference you cited the passion that
Yeah.
you have found in these farmers and producers? You know, the entrepreneurial, I'm sure that you're seeing some similarities with some of your friends, but will you talk about that kind of unique factor, this additional passion that these folks have when they're in agriculture from the ground up, so to speak?
Oh yeah, yeah, definitely. I mean, the passion is so unique and so different. And I have a lot of friends over in Seattle. I live in Seattle. A lot of friends who are also living in Seattle, and they are all in IT industry, and some of them are fairly high up and manage hundreds of people. They have passions. I mean, they have a lot of passion with what they do, but the passion that they have in compares to my growers, my cherry growers, is so different. It's I mean, my cherry growers, they're entrepreneurs in a way, right? They baby their trees from little for baby trees all the way into a mature trees, and they see the fruits that they produce, and and then hopefully the fruits that they produce will generate generate a good returns for them, and then they'll put the money back into the land, continue the process again. So I mean all the growers that I have become friends with, um, not and some of them are older than I am by 10 years or so, or actually in the retirement age brackets already, and none of them are actually thinking about retiring.
Hmm.
They, I mean, a few of them they said they retire, but they still wake up at 4 o'clock in the morning, go to the field and do the same thing.
Right.
I was like, Pat, I thought you were retired. Why are you still waking up? I was like, yeah, I'm retired, but I still need to go see my trees. I still need to see what's going on. So that passion is so different than my friends in IT over on the Seattle side. Like, they want they want to retire, but when they're retired, they're not they don't want to deal with IT anymore. They want to go
Hmm.
do something else. But the cherry growers, they're like when they retire, they're still doing the same thing. It was like so yeah, the passion here is just so different. God, it's just I admire those passion that they
Okay,
have.
so you bring this background to this job now that you're working in the business for 20 years. Talk about the importance of exports and where does that stand right now?
The exports are the whole industry. We try. I mean, there's some the whole industry. We try to maintain 30% of product uh, being exported. That including Canada, Mexico, and the bread and butter of the business is in Asia Pacific. So the largest export market for the industries is Canada. Then followed by China. Then any given year could be South Korea or Taiwan. Um, China was the number two market until 2018 when the tariff war, trade war started, and China fell to the number two spot. And it continued the downward slope. It's because the geopolitical tension it makes it harder to export products into China. But um, because the export market, especially the Southeast Asia or the Asia Pacific region, we see it as a premium market for the industry. They pay higher FOB price for the bigger, uh, higher quality fruit. And 90% of our product that are exported to Asia Pacific is all flown. So I mean, literally, I have done campaigns in China that from farm to your door, 48 hours. So yeah, yeah.
I
So
watched a video about this and it was absolutely fascinating about,
yeah, that
and
was fun.
truthfully, I did not know about how quickly this is able to happen, but the logistics of accomplishing what you just said, and you're
Yeah.
loading up these planes and flying them all the way across the world within 48 hours is mind-boggling.
Yeah, so I mean, I've been telling the Asia Pacific customers that the cherries that you're eating, that you're buying at wherever your choice of options, I would say 90% of the time are fresher than the U.S. consumers because it takes what almost a week to truck for the trucks to cross the United States, right, from Washington to all the way to southeast part of the United States or even East Coast somewhere. So yeah, for those Asia Pacific customers, they most of the time they get their cherries at the shelf, so no later than 72 hours. So yeah, that said, export markets continue to be a very important area for the whole cherry industry. It's, just because we need the export market to return the higher returns from the export market, and also uh, this year we will be producing. We're still counting the numbers, but 2025, I think the industry have packed and shipped over 200, close to 230,000 tons. So when I first stumbled into this industry back in 2005, the whole industry production was only 80,000 tons.
Whew.
So
Three
it's
times as much
twofold.
almost. Yeah.
Yeah,
All
yeah, yeah.
because of your leadership, right?
No, 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 no. It's like I said, these growers, they're all entrepreneurs, right?
Yeah.
I mean, if there's money to be made, people will go into it. Now, so yeah, so it grew in 20 years from 80,000 tons to 230,000 tons. So we need other markets that we can find internationally to help to reduce the stress of the domestic market.
The ability to substantially increase output like that, is it the spread in Eastern Washington? Is that primarily responsible for this? Is it technological advances? Is it because there is this international market and more people are just doing it, or what's behind it?
It's all of the above. I
Okay.
mean, the Northwest Cherries includes 5 states: Washington, Oregon, Montana, Utah, and Idaho. But I would say Washington represents about 90% of total production, and Oregon about 5%, and the remaining 3 states add up to the remaining 5%. Yes, I mean for at least for the 20 years that I've been, I saw the consumption, the demand increase dramatically. So and there was the growers saw the potential to make money by growing cherries. So then you see and people start farming what we call it the high density farming.
Mhm.
So they're able to put that over 1,000 trees per acre. So, and machine harvest, it's not there yet. I think we're still kind of a ways out. We still require labor,
Mhm.
but that's on the field. But in the packing houses, in this past 20 years, I have seen machinery taking over a lot of labor and labor's work, and it has become a lot more efficient when sorts out the bad cherries and sorts out cherries in different sizes and pack into boxes. So yeah, so it's everything: the farming know-how, the consumer demands, and globally, yeah, and the
Uh,
return on investment.
could you talk a little bit more about, you mentioned in 2018 when President Trump was in the first time and really started the trade war, kind of trade war 1.0, a lot more
Yeah,
substantial potentially in his second term. But like with soybeans, for example, China has found other sources, primarily Brazil.
yeah.
What has China found another source, or are they just making do with less?
I will say both. Chinese, they have their own cherry production, sweet cherry productions
Hmm.
up in the northeast corner of China. I have been there a few times to see. Well, it has been a while. The last time I was there was 2017, so it has been 8 years already. But because their farming practice and the land ownership is very different than the U.S. Um, Growers here, one grower can farm thousands of acres, but over there you don't have a grower maybe only have 5 acres, and your neighbor have another 5 acres. So they don't have the economy of skills,
Hmm.
and the farming know-how is very different. Farmer A and Farmer B, they have different ways of farming too, right? So they don't have the economy of skill that we have. they don't really have the climate that we have that over at East in Eastern Washington. They definitely don't have the packing technology or the sorting technology that we have in the Western world. However, things start to change in the last uh, 8 9 years. You have a lot of these big U.S. Chinese companies like Lenovo, the PC company. They have a branch who that invests nothing but in the agriculture
Hmm.
business in China, and that they have another branch that does blueberry farming. Now the blueberry farming industry in China is so big now. I mean, it literally it eliminates a lot of the import business of blueberries. So cherry is still a very delicate product to farm, and they still don't have the technique or the weather to back them up yet. However, I have seen the big improvement of Chinese cherries. I mean, when I first went there, when I first started those 20 years ago, those cherries you don't even want to look at them. But nowadays those cherries looks beautiful. I mean, almost as good as Northwest cherries, but they
Hmm.
don't have the flavors yet. So, but I think it's common. So that said, yes, the trade war it dramatically increased the landed cost of cherries. This year the total uh, uh, tariff or tax on cherries is 45, 54. Hold on. You add a VAT, 54%.
Hmm.
Landed, yeah, that's 54% on top of the landed cost. So we lost direction to China was decreased by roughly 35% compared to last year, and we had a smaller crop last year.
Hmm.
And this year our crop was bigger, but our direction to China was reduced by 35%, give it a take. So yes, um, Chinese consumer and importer this year they stayed away just because their economy is not doing too well over there either, and also the risk is higher than what they anticipate. So yeah, so my job is to continue to diversify ourselves away from China, which I think I think my team is doing a pretty good job. Diversifying away from China. Now, Korea, South Korea, Taiwan will always be the main markets for us, but Southeast Asia has become very strong for us, especially Vietnam and Thailand. Uh, I mean, Vietnam benefited the most from the trade war between U.S. and China, right? So yeah, so when I first went to Vietnam, it was 10 years ago with this job, and I'm seeing the development of the middle
Hmm.
income class people, the families, man. It's very similar to what China was going through in the late 1990s. Cranes everywhere, high rises popping out left and right. So yeah, so Vietnam could be great. Continue to be a great market for the industry. And my uh, new challenge is India. This one is tough, just because it's geologically it's so far away. It's literally on the other side of Washington State,
Hmm.
and getting products over there is a lot more difficult than getting product to Asia Pacific. And the consumption behavior is very different, even though they're considered categorized as Asian. But South Asian and East Asian, their shopping consumption behavior is very different, and the infrastructure is not as well uh, established in India for highly perishable goods. So
Would you say because of I mean, there are a lot of people that live in India. So is that our best potential, especially if we have longer term diminished exports to China? Should we kind of place our optimism toward India just because of
yeah,
the
yeah. I
sheer
mean,
number of
there's
people?
people's one thing, and also there the European market do not exist for the cherry growers in, because if you throw a dart on any of a European on the map of Europe map, pretty much every single country produces cherries. So I cannot really compete in that market.
Sure.
And also because the Euro gap and a lot of other regulations makes very difficult to ship products over there. Hopefully things will change in the future, but right now it's fairly difficult. India, there's definitely money there. And it's if the haves and have-nots, the gap is very big, but
Sure.
the have, there's definitely money, and they are willing to spend. The downside is that I have direct competition over there. However, the quality is not comparable to Northwest cherries. But the downside is our price is 5 times more expensive than the local produced or any of the product that are imported from Middle East or from Turkey. Turkey will be my biggest competitor. They are the biggest cherry producing country in the world. So they do ship some products over to India, but even that when it compares to quality, they don't have the quality that we had. So I believe the potential for India is big. However, there's an obstacle needs to be ironed out. So it's the biggest thing. It's the cold chain infrastructure. They need to continue to develop their cold chain infrastructure, and hopefully we'll have more direct flights or shorter transit times from Seattle to any major cities.
So would you say in India the appetite is there, at least for the folks who have the disposable income to purchase?
Oh, yes.
The appetite is there, the diet is there. It's really just the infrastructure to figure it out?
Oh yes. Yeah.
Okay.
And also just to get our brand or get our product out, the awareness out. I mean, yeah, the appetite's definitely there.
You can learn more about Keith's background in our profile piece about him. Find that in the weekly American Farmland Owner newsletter. It's the place where landowners get their news. It's free. It heads to your email inbox on Fridays. You can read it whenever it is convenient for you. Sign up at AmericanFarmlandOwner.com. Thanks for joining us here on the podcast, and thanks for caring about the future of our farmland.